Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So, myself, Disha Dugat, I started my entrepreneurial journey in 2014. Like any other entrepreneur, I also faced a lot of hardships. For the first 2 years, we were really not sure whether we are going ahead or not. But by God's grace and hard work and all the luck and all the love that I got from my clients, uh, we've grown leaps and bounds, and we basically are into consulting, legal consulting. If you want to kickstart your startup, or if you already have a company and you want to expand, so legal solutions, taxation, financial, everything, it's a one-stop solution for us. So I basically wanted to share what a lot of people, they have a lot of creative ideas, and they don't know how to bring it to life. So I will basically make you go through how to kickstart your startup. So there are a few points. It's a huge topic, but I'll try to cover it as short as possible. The first thing is you need to firstly formalize a business structure and make a founders agreement. So, in India, there are a lot of business types that you can incorporate it as, sole proprietorship, private limited, public limited, partnership, or a limited liability partnership. So, if you're looking for starting with a small bunch of capital, I would personally suggest start with a sole proprietorship. Or if you have two or more partners in mind, then start with a limited liability partnership. If you have further questions, I can answer that in the question and answers round. Now, the second point that I think you should be it's very crucial for a startup is applying for business licenses. Now, depending on the nature and size of your business, there are several licenses that are applicable to you. In case of a lack of relevant licenses, there can be a lot of lawsuits that can be filed against you, and unwanted legal battles. So, if you want to start, say, a digital or an IT company, so there are a lot of trade licenses that are applicable to you. There are a lot of IT licenses that are applicable to you. So it depends on the type of, the industry that you're going into. Now, the third most important thing is understanding the taxation and accounting laws. It's a part and parcel of every business. Every business has to pay central tax, state tax, local taxes. Now, the best part is the government of India has come up with this Startup India initiative, wherein if you are a startup, you can have tax exemption for a period of 3 years. So there are a lot of criterias, that your company should not be more than 7 years old, and your turnover should not be more than 25 crores in any of the years. So there are a lot of conditions applied, but if you fall, then you can easily apply for the Startup India initiative. Now, the fourth important thing is, adhering to the labor laws. A lot of people have this concept that, if you do not have too many employees or, staffing and, people around, you do not need to adhere to labor laws, but that's a misconception. There are laws regarding minimum wages, gratuity, PF, weekly holidays, maternity benefits, sexual harassment, payment of bonus, so these are applicable to almost all companies that you incorporate with. The fifth important thing is, you have to ensure the protection of your intellectual property. Now, what is the intellectual property? Basically, say your intellectual property can be classified into a lot of things. To start with, if you have a new idea or you have a new invention, so there's a separate intellectual property for that. Say you have a logo which you want to brand, create a brand out of it. So trademarking that is of utmost importance, and trademarking does not depend upon how much you've used that logo. It depends on how earlier you have used that logo. So say today you want your logo to be of some sort, and there's someone else who has started using it later on but has already applied for the trademark. So in that case, they will get the trademark before you. So you have to start early, and I think the best time is during incorporation. Another important thing is, you have to ensure effective contract management. So a lot of people think that, only big companies need to have this, that you need to put in pen and paper into clauses, agreements, contracts. But that is a myth. I think every startup from day one, you should have contracts in place, whether it's an employee contract, if you're staffing people, even if they're trainees, you need contracts. And with your clients, you need to sign NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, which is also of, a lot of importance, because, a lot of times what happens is clients share their price sensitive information with you, and in the process, say, even if you've not leaked it out, and it goes out in the public, they can pinpoint and file a suit against you. So having an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement with your clients, is a must for every startup. Okay, last but not the least, I think this is not a great thing to think about for startups, but then you have to be practical about this. You should know of the various modes of winding down the business for whatever reason. If you want to shut down the business, or you want to sell it off, there are a lot of options you can do that. I'll share three of that. One is the fast track exit mode, the other is through the court or tribunal, and the third is a voluntary liquidation. So for startups, I would suggest fast track exit mode. It's the easiest, it's the cheapest, and it's very quick. So yeah, I think I've shared the gist of the legalities for a startup, and if there are any questions, I would love to answer.